you ready for math for today, for Monday, April 27th. Our goal for today is to be able to add 2-digit plus 2-digit numbers together, also adding 3 numbers together. So we're going to get to that, but our mental math today, if we were in class, we would get out our clocks, and I don't know if you kept your clock from last week or the week before. I'm losing track of when we made this clock. But you could go through your clock and practice some times. Like you could practice showing me 3 o'clock. So set your clock to 3 o'clock. Should look like that. You could practice telling time to the half hour because we worked on that. So I could tell you to show me 7:30 or show me 7:30, and you'd set your clock to match this. So see if there's somebody at home, if you still have your clock, and they can help you, and you can just practice telling some times to the hour and to the half hour just to review what we did last week. All right, so we'll move on to our goal for today. We're going to be using number stories, and our number stories today are going to be from your math journal, and that's on page 188 and 189. It's called the School Store Mini Poster number 1 and Mini Poster number 2. So lots of different objects that you could buy if you were going to a school store. We're going to use the amounts of money that we see here to do some addition and subtraction work. And you could also use these pages to do your work when we're finished and to make up some home stories just to keep on practicing at home on your own. So what I want you to understand from this lesson is that there are different strategies for adding. At school, we are always talking about strategies for how we can add things together. We are always putting a strategy poster up and adding to that. One of the things that we would have had on our strategy poster would have been that we can draw a diagram. We could use our number grid. We can use base 10 blocks. I may even teach you another method that I learned when I was younger, and that would help me add. So there's lots of different things that we can do. So for this first story, I've got my marker board ready. If yours is handy, or if you want to pause the video and go grab it, we're going to try and solve this story. Omar bought an eraser. Well, if I look at that poster, the eraser is 17 cents. And he bought stickers. And the poster tells me that those stickers are 25 cents. How much did Omar spend? Well, you got to stop and think, how am I going to solve that? The question's saying he bought this and he bought this. How much did he spend? Well, listening to that story, that's going to be an addition story if I want to know how much he spent. So the first thing that we might write down on our marker board is the number model so that we know what we're doing. So we have to add 17 plus 25, and we have to find that answer. So there's our number model. Now, if we were going to try to use one of our diagrams, we have used a diagram in the past called parts and total, and that diagram is made of a big rectangle and dividing into parts. We would have said that one part was the 17 cents he spent, and the other part was the 25 cents that he spent, and then what we're trying to find is the total. Remember how that diagram works? The total is going to be the big number because it fits into the big box. So right now, all I've done is set up what I need to do. This isn't going to be my strategy for how to solve it. So I have my diagram. One of the other things that I said was I could use a number grid to solve this. Let me show you how I would use that number grid. And I'm going to use my number grid in the back of my math journal, like you have at your house. And I'm going to use a strategy that, if you think about what we learned last week when we did 10 more and 10 less, this strategy is related to that. So I have 17 plus 25. Now I can start on 17, but if I start on 17, then that means when I add 25, I have a lot more to add. So instead, I'm going to start on the big number. So I'm going to put my finger on 25. Now the number I'm adding to it is 17. When you look at the number 17, there is 1 10 in 17 because there's a 1 in the tens place. So here's the shortcut that you could use in your number grid. I could go down one row, and now I've added 10. I've added that 1 10 from the tens place. But now in the 17, there are still 7 ones left. So to finish this addition problem, I can now take those 7 hops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't forget the return sweep. 6, 7. And I land on 42. Now I'm going to show you how I can go back to 25 and I can take all 17 of those hops. but I want you to notice how long that's going to take me. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now notice how I still landed in the same spot. I still landed at 42 because that's the answer. But when I used the trick that we were talking about last week, where I know how to add 10 and subtract 10 on the number grid, I was able to get there quicker, and chances of making a mistake are greater, or not making a mistake, because I'm not taking as many hops. So let me show this to you again, because I don't want you to be too confused. So we're doing 25 plus 17. So here's the shortcut. 25, I'm gonna add 10. Now I've added the 10 from 17. Now I'm gonna add the other 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's my answer, 42. So one way to find that answer and to finish off that number model and put 42 here, and I'd put 42 here in my diagram, is to use the number grid. Now the other way is trying to do base 10 blocks. So 17 in base 10 blocks will be 1 long and 7 cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 25 would be 2 longs and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes. And now that I have my picture drawn, then I'm gonna add my cubes together. You wanna start with your cubes first in case there's any exchanging. So I know that this is 5, and then watch, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When I get to 10, that means I need to add another long. So I used all of these, and I used all of those, and I got another long. So now how many longs do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. And how many cubes do I have left? 1, 2. And notice how I got the same answer, 42. Now I probably should have organized that a little bit better for you. So to organize that a little bit better, you might make a T-chart like this one. And on this side, we can put our 10s. And on this side, we could put our 1s. Probably be a better way to organize it. So that number 17, I would have put here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 25, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I probably could have shown that to you a little bit better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these are the 10 that I took because 10 ones makes a long. So I'm gonna get rid of those and exchange them or trade them for a 10. And now here's the 4, there's the 2 left, there's that answer, 42. So I took the information from the story, I put it into a diagram, I wrote a number model, I showed you how I could solve it on my number grid, I showed you another way that you could solve it, a different strategy would be using base 10 blocks, and let me show you the old school way, that's what I'm gonna call it. This is the way that I learned when I was younger. And so what I would have done when I was younger, the story said 17 plus 25. And this is a number model, but it's a number model written up and down. So this is what I would have done. And just like your base 10 blocks, you're gonna start with your 1s. And if I have 7 plus 5, now this is where your math facts come in handy. You should know that quickly. If I know that 7 plus 5 is 12, I know that I can't put 2 numbers in the 1s place. We've learned that earlier this year. So what I'm gonna do with that number 12, I'm gonna put the 2 in the 1s place because that's where that 2 is. So I'm gonna put that 2 here. And in the number 12, there's 110. So I'm gonna take that 110 and I'm gonna put it over here with those other 10s. That's called carrying. I'm gonna take that 10 from 12 and I'm gonna carry it over and I'm gonna put it over here in the 10s place. So now these are all the numbers in my 10s place and I can add those together. 1 and 1 makes 2. Now I've got 2 and a 2 down here. 2 and 2 makes 4. And I get 42. Every time I got 42. I just did it with 3 different strategies. So you have to do the strategy that works best for you, that works best in your head. If it's drawing a picture, those base 10 blocks, or if it's using your number grid, or even giving this a try. And somebody else at home may have another strategy or a plan for helping you, and that's okay. Because our goal is to be able to add correctly, and we want to do it the best way we know how. So that was a lot of information for one story problem, but I wanted you to see all those strategies. So let's try another one similar to that one. I'm gonna go look at that poster, and I'm just gonna pick two objects. It was back on page 189 and 188. And I'm gonna say that this time I'm gonna buy a pencil and a pen. So the pencil is 28 cents. The pen is 31 cents. And I'm trying to find the answer, okay? So I'm gonna go to my number grid. I'm gonna show you all these strategies all over again. I'm gonna go to my number grid, 28 plus 31. 31's the bigger number, so I'm gonna start there. And in the number 28, listen to it, 28, there's two tens. So I'm gonna use the number grid shortcut. I'm gonna go 10, 20. So I've taken care of the two tens part. Now listen, 28, there's 8 more to hop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So on that strategy, I got 59, okay? Let's check our next strategy. Let's use our T-chart. We're gonna draw our 10s here, our 1s here. So 28, 1, 2, that's 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Now I'm gonna draw my picture for 31. 1, 2, 3, that's for the 30, and then 1. So remember, we're gonna start by adding our 1s first in case we have to regroup or trade. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's only 9 cubes there. I could put a 9 in the 1s place, so I don't have to trade anything. And then I come over to my 10s place, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5. Look at that answer, 59. Same number that I got up here by using the number grid, but I got the same number down here using my base 10 blocks. So let me show you my last way, that old school way that I learned when I was your age. And I would have set my number model up going up and down. The important thing, if you're gonna try this strategy, is that you have to line everything up. The 1s place has to be on top of the 1s place. These 10s have to be on top of each other in the 10s place. Something that you can do to make sure you're keeping things in the right place is by drawing a line like that. So I'm gonna start with my 1s again. 8 plus 1 is 9. I can put a 9 in the 1s place. So all I'm gonna do is write down the 9. There's nothing to carry because I didn't hit that magic number of 10. That's when we have to carry, that's when we have to regroup, that's when we exchange. But it's just 9. So I can write that down. Then I come over here to, here's my 10s, 2 10s, 3 10s, 2 plus 3 is 5, and there's my answer, 59. Same answer as before with those other two strategies. Okay, so you might also find and try a number story that sounds a little bit different than those two. Listen to this one carefully. Diego has 20 cents. His mom gives him 60 more cents. How many cents does Diego have now? He had 20. His mom gives him 80. How much does he have now? Sounds like another addition fact. Because he had 20, he got 60 more. Now look at that one. 60 plus 20. You know what? I can do that one in my head. Like we were practicing adding 10 more last week. If I had 2 more 10s and I start at 60, listen, I would have 70, 80. So he has 80 cents. But there's 2 parts to that question. Now this question says, what one item could he buy using all of his money? So he has 80 cents. So we have to go back and look at our shopping poster again and find the one thing that he could buy with his 80 cents. So there I am back on 188 and 189. So I'm gonna give you a second to search your chart. What could Diego buy with his 80 cents? Ooh, I hope you said the box of crayons. It's exactly 80 cents, exactly the same amount of money that he has. So you might try a story problem like that. And then the final story problem that you might want to try is adding 3 numbers together. So let's say, for example, we've got a friend named Keisha and she buys rubber bands. They're 8 cents. She buys a crayon. It's 6 cents. and she buys a paperclip, and it's 2 cents. Now these things that they bought, notice, aren't 2-digit. We're gonna give a practice of adding 3 digits together. And we've had a strategy in the past for how to do this. When we look at this, what we should be looking for is if there are any facts we know really quickly. Like, do you see any doubles in there? Do you see pairs of 10 in there? Look for a short, quick way to find the answer. So as you're looking, I hope you spotted the 8 and the 2, and that you know 8 and 2 is a pair of 10. Because then what that leaves is 10 and 6. And that should be easy to put together, because putting that 6 right there in that 0 spot would be real easy, and we'd come up with the answer 16. So that's another type of story problem that you can try. So in your packet of directions, I haven't referenced these math slides very much, but I'm going to show you that today. So this packet that has your reading directions on the front and then your math, there's all these slides in here that I haven't really used too much. I've just been relying on my video. But if you keep flipping the pages until you find the one that looks like this box right here says 2-digit number story practice. And there are 4 number stories already written. So if you don't have anybody at home to make up any, you can use these right here and try to practice solving those number stories using those strategies you saw in the video today. And you could just practice these on your marker board. What you're gonna show me for your work today is in your math packet, and it's Home Links 9.2, or if you're looking in the corner for the page number, it's 265. You're going to make up your own number story. And you're gonna use that poster in here to decide what 2 things or maybe 3 things that you would like to buy, and you're gonna write your own number story, okay? Now, if you turn in your math journal to one more page, to page 190, there's also a place right here for you to practice a couple more story problems, and this one has an example done at the top for you. So you've got enough places where you can write 3 of your own number stories. So write as many as you would like, and I'm gonna ask that you show me one of these pages for your work today. Take a picture of one of them. You don't have to do them both, but I wanted you to know that they are there so that you could practice several story problems if you would like to do that. Okay, so our goal today was to make sure that we have several strategies for adding big numbers. So we did a diagram and the number model to start, because that helps us know what the story is asking us to do. We used the number grid. I showed you how to do it with the base 10 blocks, and then I even showed you the old school way, that's what I'm calling it, the way that I learned when I was younger. And I'm sure that some of your parents will know that way too. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And good luck with your math today.